We're here with social engineer Veronica Belmont.
Oh, man.
She engineers social things.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I do.
ice cream.
Oh, I wish I had some ice cream. I do have ice cream. I can't eat it because it can give me heartburn.
What? What a
I
horrible
have
state of affairs.
I told you about my GERD already. Everything
Yeah,
gives me
no, you did.
heartburn.
You did. Wasn't trying to make you go into that again. I apologize.
It's okay.
I'm just realized that not being able to eat ice cream is a horrible state of affairs.
I have a couple bites at night, and it's not the best.
I am told genetically I'm lactose intolerant.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. But also 43% Scandinavian.
That's right. That was unexpected.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was
They
unexpected.
eat a lot of cheese up there. I don't understand that either.
Hmm. Should I buy the black Birkenstocks? I feel like it's very mannish.
Listen. We're 2 minutes away from starting the show.
I'm
If
just
you
gonna
buy the black Birkenstocks now, you may regret it.
I might regret
They'll
it.
still be there after the show.
You don't know that. Sometimes they say there's only like 2 or 3 pairs left, and
They
then you
say
have
that to make you rush into buying them.
Well, it's working because I'm about to hit proceed to checkout.
Mm-hmm. So you're just going to go for it. All right.
Maybe I should buy 2 sizes.
Maybe you should buy, yeah, because it's free return with Zappos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Hack their system while you're at it.
I
While
should.
You're just out there hacking systems.
That's a lot of money, though. Well,
You get it back.
eventually.
You're floating it out there, though. They're going to make interest off that money.
That's troubling. Should I buy another color? Should I buy 3?
By the way, they're requesting Bellbot in the chat room.
Okay. She hasn't been active in a while, so it might be.
Who knows what she'll be saying?
Well, I mean, I haven't checked on her in a while, so anything's possible.
Oh, yeah. She might be active. You don't know. She might
I
not
usually
be
get
available.
updates. She's busy doing other things.
Yeah. She's out of town.
All right, lady.
Learning more Portuguese.
IRC dot.
Bellbot's headed into the chat room, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. There she
There
is.
she is. I'm gonna say. Oh, why am I?
I think people like her more than me.
She's just novel.
I don't know why she's not responding to anybody.
She's sulky. Yeah, she's just like, screw you guys.
That's weird. Yeah, she's never done that before. Oh, there she
Hello.
is.
Scothbot.
Oh, now she's okay. Now she's. Oh, she's.
Oh no!
It's all happening
Good
at once.
for you. Hey yourself.
Do you dream of electric sheep?
Here we go. All right.
Yeah, now the good stuff. All right, she's just being a little slow today. She needed her
right.
coffee.
Yeah. She needed to get rolling. Oh, interesting. Shall we go?
Let's do it. Tom's wife works for YouTube.
Oh my. So knowledgeable. All right, here we go.
This is the Daily Tech News Show. Tom's birthday is at the end of this month, so why don't you get him what I got him? $12. To donate $1 a month to DTNS, go to patreon.com/DTNS. Happy birthday, Tom.
This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, June 6, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, Ms. Veronica Belmont is back on the show, and we are going to talk passwords. She knows all your passwords.
I wish.
Actually, you probably could know a disturbing number of people's passwords, given the stories we have today.
It's true.
I mean, if people can guess Mark Zuckerberg's Twitter password, anything's possible.
His passwords are terrible.
Da, da, da.
What?
We'll get into that in a little bit. We're going to talk about some of our favorite tips for making sure you have secure accounts. We'd love to hear some of yours. Let's start off with the headlines. Xbox One's gonna get Cortana integration this summer, changing the voice activation from the Xbox Connect activation, which pretty much is limited to like, say these words on the screen, to the Cortana trigger. First of all, you have to say, hey, and then, you know, the word that you have to say. And that brings with it some more natural language. You can just say like, hey, can you play Overwatch, except it's not available for the, well, no, it is on Xbox. I only have it on the PS4. So yeah, you could say play Overwatch and it would be able to go find it really easily. Microsoft is primarily focused on getting it working with game functionality, but it can bring along your history and a Cortana notebook from other machines, and they say it should work with Bing and other things like that. Other improvements in the operating system of the Xbox One will include simpler game library navigation, universal apps support, and integration of PC gaming into your social stream. Preview version rolls out this week if you're in the preview club, and the final version is part of the whole Windows Anniversary Edition coming later this summer.
That's exciting. I have been very bad about using Cortana on my Windows PC. I never use it. Do you use it on your gaming machine?
I don't use it. Well, on my gaming machine. You mean on my Windows machine?
Yes, I guess.
I
guess that could be a non-gaming machine also.
I have a non-gaming Windows machine that I actually use Cortana on much more often than I do on my gaming machine. My gaming machine, I never use Cortana. I just launch whatever, Steam or whatever, or Blizzard, Battle.net. On my non-gaming Windows laptop, though, I do use Cortana a lot, but for text. I almost never use the voice search.
Yeah, I do use it for text, and I get annoyed because it still pops up and says, like, do you want to use Cortana with your speech stuff? And I'm like, no, leave me alone. But I think this is good because Xbox really was one of the first products that had decent speech and voice recognition. So I think it makes total sense that Cortana will be the voice of Xbox in the very near future. But yeah, Xbox has done a pretty good job with that in the past. I think they were one of the real forerunners in that category.
Yeah, my wife, who has an irrational hatred of Alexa,
what?
for some reason.
Really?
I think she just thinks it's funny to pretend that she doesn't like her. But she loves the Xbox, and so she uses that voice activation all the time. I asked her today, I was like, well, it's going to switch to Cortana. Are you going to be okay with that? She's like, oh, yeah, Cortana seems cool.
Oh, my gosh.
And the natural language aspect of it is going to make a lot of the things you do so much easier on the Xbox.
So much Alexa hate. Ryan hates Alexa, too.
Really?
Yeah, I love Alexa. She's my favorite person.
We got a complaint about this last week. We should really stop saying her name too much because it does, in fact, set it off.
It does. Didn't we have that problem back in the Buzz Out Loud days with something?
There was something like that, yeah.
Or like Siri.
Yeah, Siri sometimes.
Yeah, the usual. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. More Microsoft news. Microsoft launched a project management tool called Office 365 Planner today, rolling out to Enterprise, Business Essentials, Premium, and Education plans. It lets you set due dates, use visual dashboards, share files, chat, and send email notifications. Planner is meant for teams, while Microsoft Project is meant for managing a portfolio of different projects, some of which might be using Planner to organize themselves. New features coming in the next few months to Planner include external user access and Android, iOS, and Windows apps.
Yeah, so that probably went over a lot of people's heads. But essentially, if you're a project manager working on a team, you want Planner. If you're like a middle manager or executive overlooking a bunch of different projects, you want Microsoft Project. Does that kind of make sense?
Planner is meant for teams, while Microsoft Project is meant for managing a portfolio of different projects, some of which might be using Planner.
Right. Sure. Maybe. Maybe not. They might be using Evernote. Who knows? But yeah, this Microsoft Planner thing sounds, I mean, you're into the planning. Does this sound like something you'd want to give a shot?
I have other tools that I use for that kind of stuff. So, I'm not wrapped up into the world of Microsoft 365. Perhaps if I get into a job where they are using that would be very useful. Or maybe it'll be the thing that makes me try it out. But, who knows?
It is interesting. This is the first time I've seen something that I was even marginally interested in that has showed up on Office 365, where I'm like, oh, I'm already paying for this, and now I've got this new thing as part of the suite, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft is good at this kind of stuff, so I'm excited to test it out at some point.
T-Mobile announced today it will give the primary account holder of each of its postpaid accounts, that's the one where you just pay every month, not prepaid accounts, a single share of T-Mobile USA stock. You can also get a free share of stock for each person you refer who signs up for the service, to a maximum of 100 shares per year. And subscribers who've been with the company 5 years or more get 2 shares per referral. T-Mobile also introduced a new app called T-Mobile Tuesdays that gives away pizza and
Thanks.
tickets to see Warcraft the movie and stuff like that. Yeah. T-Mobile says that they will have new things to give away every Tuesday. Apparently, you have to go to the store to pick them up. I'm interested to see how that works. They also said they will expand their free text messaging to include iMessage, Google Hangouts, WhatsApp, and Viber. And customers can now get 1 free hour of Wi-Fi on domestic flights with GoGo service.
Wow, that's a lot of very different things crammed into one little news story. And I am fascinated by this. You get to have shares of T-Mobile. Like, I don't... What is the end game here? Is it to make people feel invested in the somehow? I mean, would people even think about that? Do people even care to be shareholders? I don't know.
I'm curious about it too. It's only 1 share. The vast majority of people are going to get their 1 share. They might not ever even claim it because they're like, I don't know, I don't own shares.
But 1 share is a ridiculously small portion of anything.
I think right now one of those shares is worth around $40, so it ain't nothing. You could
That's not nothing.
You could just go sign on and sell it. By the way, you can go on and there's a third-party company brokerage firm that's handling it. They don't give you an account. They're not trying to trick you into joining the brokerage firm. All they'll do is say you can transfer this to another brokerage, or you can sell it. And so I think a lot of people will just sell it and take the cash, which is interesting. But also, when I first saw this, I thought, oh, so T-Mobile issues a bunch of like Class A shares or something, saves money. No, they're buying these on the open market. They're not issuing new shares.
I'm kind of baffled. I'm also kind of excited to see what happens.
It's intriguing, yeah.
And also, it's cool that you can get prizes. That's fun.
The free stuff is like, I mean, it is at least more simpler than loyalty programs from like Verizon or AT&T or others, but
AT&T doesn't give me diddly squat.
Oh, they have a loyalty thing, but you have jump through a bunch of hoops. Yeah, I don't remember what all the hoops are. They're literally hoops. Like you have to go to their store and they pull out hoops. It's embarrassing. Why would you do that?
That's ridiculous.
I may have that wrong. I'm not sure.
All right. Blizzard and Facebook announced a partnership to integrate Facebook Live into all Blizzard games. A Facebook login option is also being added to all Blizzard's PC titles. The Facebook integration should be in place later this month. So
big get for Facebook Live, for sure.
Yes. So does this mean you're going to be able to stream gaming to Facebook Live? Is that what that means?
All Blizzard games, you'll be able to stream to Facebook Live at the touch of a button. You do have to
Twitch is like what is going on?
Yeah.
That cannot be a happy news situation for a company like Twitch or YouTube Gaming.
No.
That's a big play into that space. Yeah.
Speaking of the aforementioned wife who works there. But yeah, Facebook Live, when it first launched, a lot of people thought, well, it's a Me Too Periscope. And it has done a good job of finding celebrities to back it, finding important events like major soccer games to stream on it,
like the Game of Thrones season.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, totally. And now every Blizzard game. I mean, you could still stream Blizzard on Twitch and elsewhere, but with one button, boom.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Ars Technica's Dan Gooden interviewed TeamViewer spokesman Axel Schmidt Sunday about the continuing accusations that TeamViewer accounts have been compromised. TeamViewer doesn't dispute that the accounts are being compromised. They just say it's not their fault. It's not their network. They maintain the majority of the accounts are compromised because of other password leaks. There have been the Tumblr leak and the LinkedIn leak. And they say people use weak passwords in general. And that could be a part of this too. TeamViewer complains that people saying they had two-factor authentication and still got hacked have not shared their logs with them. They say we have no other evidence of two-factor compromise, but if somebody has been compromised and had two-factor, we definitely want to see those logs to figure out what's going on. Schmidt also apologized for using the phrase careless use in TeamViewer's initial response to this issue, which inflamed a lot of folks who were like,
that's victim blaming.
I had a fine password and I got hacked. And one thing that's in this article too that I thought was interesting, TeamViewer on the enterprise level can manage a bunch of different accounts, and then each employee just uses a PIN and an ID to get into the account. And the TeamViewer pointed out, if that master account gets hacked, somehow and somebody guesses the password or finds the password, then they can get into all the machines that are under that. And that could be causing problems for some people who are like, wait a minute, I had a strong password and I still got hacked.
Yeah, that's problematic. And that's probably one of the reasons why some companies don't do a master password for those kinds of logins. You know, one of the reasons Slack probably hasn't done a master login for all your different Slack channels.
Yeah.
Because if that becomes compromised, and that could cause a real issue across the board for many different companies, depending on what you're connected to. So yeah, we'll talk more about passwords in the very near future.
Yeah, for sure.
Netflix announced its first Indian original series will be Sacred Games, based on the 2006 best-selling novel from Vikram Chandra about India's criminal underworld. It will be shot in India and produced in collaboration with Phantom Films.
Yeah, the hits keep on coming. There's a original in France now. There's Amazon's doing some originals in Japan. And of course, Netflix moving into India, where they're kind of high priced compared to other services there, but they want to differentiate themselves with local content. It is becoming impossible to keep up with Netflix originals. Remember when it was like, ooh, House of Cards, I watched that. I got to wait a couple months for Orange is the New Black before I get a new, like they're just constantly adding new originals because they've got the whole world now.
My biggest problem is remembering which original content is coming from where. So when I try to go find the show that I want to watch, I'm like, wait, is that Netflix? Is that Amazon? Is that where is that HBO Go or Now? Where do I find this thing? We need a universal search, but I guess something like Xbox probably handles that, or TiVo.
Yeah, they all. I mean, Roku has their own version of that. See, Apple has their own version of that now. I actually use Just Watch, which covers loads more than the built-in searches on the devices. And you can get an app for that. And then I use Sidereel to actually keep track of shows that I know where to watch them, but I don't know when they're coming back, right? Like sometimes
it
like,
lets you know when a new season comes up. That's nice.
Yeah.
Good feature.
So Just Watch and Sidereel. Those are my two television management apps because I have to manage the television that I watch.
You need a project manager.
I know.
For television shows.
Finally, attackers gained access to Mark Zuckerberg's Pinterest and Twitter accounts. They claimed they got the passwords from LinkedIn's 2012 password breach, so apparently they got access to his LinkedIn account too. Engadget only had visual evidence that they did go and deface Pinterest and Twitter. The attackers claimed they had Instagram access too, but Facebook says Instagram and Facebook accounts were safe. Zuckerberg has not used any of the affected accounts in many years. The attackers said that the password used to gate entry was DADADA. Before we get into talking about passwords in general, do you think it was around the time that song was popular?
It has to be.
Yeah.
Either that or he's just incredibly careless about his password searching. Still.
And there was a time in the 90s when I would use the same password on every throwaway thing. Like, I would definitely not use it on my email, but if I was just signing up for some new service like GeoCities back then, or AngelFire, I might just use the same password so it was easy to remember. And of course, as the internet got more populated, that became a really bad idea, and I stopped doing that. Do you believe that Mark Zuckerberg was doing that in the mid-2000s? I mean, he stopped using Twitter and stuff a long time ago, so he obviously forgot that these accounts even had this password.
I mean, I think the big story here is that Mark Zuckerberg is on LinkedIn, which I find phenomenal, because why would he need to be on LinkedIn? But beside that point, like
back in the day, maybe he did. I don't know. He certainly doesn't now.
It could have been an assistant setting up an account for him. It could have been. There's so many reasons why this could have happened. He could have just been careless. I like to think that one of the creators of like the largest social network in the world is a little more careful about, password and security safety. But people can be lazy sometimes. I mean, same thing for me. I did a 6-letter password for a good portion of my young internet days. And once in a while, I'll come across it again and be like, what was I thinking? Like, That's insane.
Yeah.
And you don't make that mistake again. But yeah, there's no good excuse really, unless it was someone else setting up these accounts for him and just being dumb about it.
Let's think about it though. Let LinkedIn around 2007, Twitter around 2007. I don't know about Instagram though.
2006. Instagram was much
Pinterest
later.
comes along much later, so that kind of throws a wrench in my theory. But I'm thinking in the early days of Facebook, he goes and creates a LinkedIn account so he can poke around LinkedIn and see what they're doing. And say like, okay, are there any features we need to copy here? Probably does the same thing with Twitter.
So maybe he just considered it a throwaway and
and he's like, I'm never going to really post much here. I'm not worried about it if somebody gets in here, so I'm just not going to bother. Which is to me, that's a bad approach because you never know what that account's going to do later, right? And this is an example of that. And to be fair, they cracked down on this very fast and they pulled down the defaced tweets and pins, which as these things go, were not that bad. They were not horrible.
Yeah, could have been worse.
Yeah, could have been much worse.
And I'm sure they had some help from the people at LinkedIn and from the people at Pinterest. I'm sure that's something they were on top of pretty quickly.
But when did Pinterest
no chat room? The password was not Bellbot. Good guess though.
Back in the day, your password.
No.
Yeah, let's not play that game. But I'm trying to figure out like, when did Pinterest launch? Because that tells you the latest time that he was using this password. And I can't think, maybe it wasn't ... I don't know, but I can't think of any other reason why they would be able to get into these accounts unless he was using the same password that was in that LinkedIn database. Pinterest launched March 2010. So as recently as 6 years ago, he was doing that.
Yeah, that's weird. He must have just considered it throwaway, like we said.
Yeah.
No other explanation.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about what we should do, what all of us should do. We know you have a secure account. We're not worried about you, but you obviously have a friend. His name's Mark Zuckerberg.
You may have connected with him on LinkedIn in the past.
Yeah, and you need to help your friend out to get a more secure password. But big thanks to T-Glass1976, another J. Martin, Steve I.O., Cat and Kipper, and more for submitting stories on our subreddit. In fact, Prince Poot submitted that Steam Blizzard using Facebook Live, or Stream Blizzard using Facebook Live. Go to our subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com, and at the very least do some voting. Join the more than 6,000 people in there helping us make a better show every day. dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. That is a look at the headlines. All right, so I went around. I have my own things that I follow for trying to make sure that I'm a step ahead. I don't consider it securing accounts. I consider it like trying to be a step ahead of people, putting in speed bumps. But I looked around. Apple's got some recommendations. Google's got some recommendations. LastPass has some recommendations. And there are certainly some things that are common, like unique passwords for each account. I mean, how many times do we need to say that? Don't use the same password on every account. And I bet there's people out there right now still doing it, right?
It's for them it's easier, and for them I say then you need to get something like 1Password or LastPass or KeePass or Dashlane, something that can keep track of all of these unique passwords so you can just pull them up at the touch of a button and have it available to you. I don't know any of my passwords anymore. I don't know my password for Instagram. I don't know my password for Twitter. I don't know any of my email passwords because they're so long and so complicated that there's no way I would memorize them. And that's good for me. So no one can get it through me through torture.
No, yes, exactly. No one could tie you to a folding chair in a basement somewhere,
right?
And compel you to give them your password. On the other hand, people say, well, wait a minute, that makes an awfully big target. One place has all your passwords. LastPass and 1Password particularly, I don't know as much about Dashlane, have both been vetted fairly well by security communities. You more differentiate them based on whether you like the decentralized nature of LastPass and the cross-site compatibility, cross-platform compatibility, or the more centralized nature of 1Password. But if you're really worried about that, KeePass is the one you want to use. KeePass is the one that says you are the only one who stores your passwords, and they aren't on a central server somewhere. They're only on your machine. They still might be vulnerable, but it's a lower surface attack area.
The way that I use 1Password is that all of my data is on a file on Dropbox, protected by two-factor authentication and behind an extra password wall. So it's not impossible, but it's about as good as you can get for a lot of this stuff. And it really just does make the damage that happens when, for example, LinkedIn gets hacked for the millionth time, and all your LinkedIn password is out there if it's not hashed. And so being able to know that you only have to go in and change that one password as opposed to every password that's associated with that email address online is a lot more peace of mind.
Yeah. And you mentioned two-factor authentication. Not every account you have is going to offer that, but everyone that does, you should turn it on. And you should absolutely have two-factor authentication protecting your password list, however you store it, because that's going to keep it secure. And two-step authentication is okay. If that's all they have, then take it. But you really would like full-on two-factor authentication. I know Apple provides two-factor authentication and two-step authentication. You got to see if you can get two-factor authentication.
And
what
what is the difference there?
Well, two-step is usually like I'll just email you and make sure. And it's like, well, if somebody compromised your email,
right, that's a big problem.
That's not really you want a second factor, something you have, something you know, right? And that way, it's not easy to get the second factor. Keep your software up to date too. Now more than ever, because that is one of the ways that things can get corrupted. And TeamViewer has pulled away from accusing people of this, so it may not have been happening with that, but a lot of times people will download software from unauthorized sources. And I'm not even talking BitTorrent, although that could be one of them, but just going to a third-party site that looks legit and downloading a piece of software that has malware in it by accident. Always try to get it directly from the people who make it, or the actual open source projects page with a checksum that you can verify that you're actually getting the right piece of software.
And I think a big one too is to avoid phishing scams. That's something that happens to a lot of people. If you get an email from an eBay or from an Amazon or from Instagram saying, hey, you need to change your password, click on this link, either there's going to be a keylogger at the other end of that, like saying what your password is when you're entering in your old password, or it's a completely fake website. There's so many potential things that can go wrong with that scenario. So it's always better to just go to the website itself, log in there, and then see if you need to change your password.
Yeah, because some of the nastier ones, they can appear to be your bank, appear to be your bank's login page, and then they go to the trouble of logging you into your bank website. So you're like, oh, well, it worked. I'm in my bank website, but they've stolen your password. And then the next thing you know, they're also in your bank website as well as you. So, there's some other things that I saw people saying, like, don't answer security questions with facts. Because remember, if your password is only protected by security questions, all someone has to do is say, I forgot my password. And they're like, what was your middle name? And then they go and they look at your Facebook page and find out that you said, oh, my middle name's Joan. And then boom. So you don't want to use that kind of information. Granted, even if you're not someone who has a Wikipedia page about you, there's so much sharing out there, sometimes not from you, right?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes somebody else is like, oh yeah, my friend's hometown is Greenville. And then that's your security information. Boom. They can now get around it.
Another one that I do often and recommend quite frequently is going into Twitter or Facebook and checking out which sites are connected through those logins, because you can use those sites to sign up for a lot of different external services. And sometimes if you don't disconnect them, they can be problematic.
W. Scottus 1 says, I even go to the point of Googling a site rather than typing it in. That way I don't make sure that I don't make a mistake in typing it.
That's intense. Yeah.
And go to like a domain squatter.
Yeah.
Close unused accounts is probably good practice. Don't store information if you don't have to. Like, it's really easy to store your credit card information. I get that. And I'm not saying that, I don't have it stored in a couple of places that are protected by two-factor authentication. But if you're at some website, you're like, oh, I'm only shopping here once, don't store the credit card information.
Exactly. Yeah. Social engineering is a big one. There's been a Google two-factor authentication attack going around that KV87 posted in the chat room. I had seen this last weekend, actually. They send you a text message with your email address and from an IP address and where it came from. and then you have to put in a code that they send you after, and it's just you get your Google stuff stolen, and that's nasty. That's the worst case scenario. I mean, if your Google stuff, if you don't have two-factor authentication on your Google accounts, man, that is a nightmare scenario. That happened. That was one of the things that happened to Matt Honan. You know, his Google stuff got hacked, and once that goes, that's tied into everything.
And you really need to make sure that if someone asks for anything from you, that you know why you're getting it. I actually got an email from my bank the other day, and there was a link in it. It's like, click here to log in. I'm like, you shouldn't do that, bank.
Yeah, nope.
And I'm like, and I'm not doing it, but that is the way. And it was a legitimate email. This was not a phishing scam email, but it's a bad practice because it gets people used to like, oh, well, it's an email from a bank. I'll just click here. And that's how phishing scams happen a lot. So make sure you're on the real site. Never click links in email. Don't download anything that you're not absolutely sure you know why you're downloading it. If something starts to download, suddenly go, wait a minute. And anytime anyone asks you for your password for something, be skeptical. I got a support ticket about a stats log page for my web host the other day. And the guy's like, well, I can't really see your stats log. So can you give me your password? I'm like, no, I'm not going, no, that you shouldn't ask that.
No, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. So anyway, I guess the other things are set up account recovery. You can do that with a lot of places like Google, for instance, so that if it does get hacked, you have a way to get it back.
Beware of honeypots.
Yeah. And back up your data. Don't trust public Wi-Fi. Oh, and how many times have you had somebody go, can you watch my computer? How'd that happen at the airport the other day?
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to be preachy. So yes, I will watch your computer, because I know I'm not going to do anything bad to it.
But don't ask other people to do that.
But you really shouldn't do that.
Don't do that. I've been bad with the connecting to public Wi-Fi ones overseas because I'm not on data. And so I'm looking for Wi-Fi spots, and I'm a target in that situation. Like, that's a bad idea. I should not
just get a VPN.
Yeah. Viper VPN is one of my favorites. There's a few good ones out there.
Well, we know we haven't covered all of them, but we think these are some of the more important ones for you to tell your friends, right? And let us know if you've got your own ways of keeping things, checking to see if you're secure, how good your firewall is. I know some people say things like turn off your router if you're going on vacation. Why leave it open, and make it an attack surface? Let us know. feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Nick sent in our pick of the day for anyone looking for new keyboards. He's one of those people who highly recommends the Cherry MX range. For those that are unfamiliar with Cherry MX switches, they are mechanical key switches, just like those in old school keyboards, but made in Germany with modern engineering in a variety of styles. They range from the MX Red Silent, that while still mechanical has minimal noise and a low actuation pressure, right up to the MX Blue that has that satisfying clackety clack and a high actuation pressure like those old IBM keyboards that I love so much. There are also some more specialty MX switches, including the MX Black for professionals, the MX Speed for gamer. While you can buy keyboards from Cherry themselves, they can also buy many different partners to find the combination of switchers, features, and lighting that you desire. Nick says, I have a Corsair K70 with MX Browns and a Corsair K70 Rapid Fire RGB with MX Speed that I can't recommend highly enough. But if you want to go check out what they've got, go to cherry.de. And if you haven't heard of Cherry keyboards, you haven't been talking to somebody who uses them, because people who love Cherry,
like Roger Chang.
Yeah. The people who love Cherry keyboards will not stop talking about them.
I don't know if he still uses them, but back in the Texilla days, Roger or Patrick, I can't remember which one of them it was obsessed with Cherry keyboards. They are fun. They're nice and clacky. Yeah.
Good clackiness. The silent ones are silent in relation to their own clacky ones. I would not call them silent related to other silent keyboards, though, because it's still actuated.
Right.
Send your picks to us, folks. feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find more picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Keep them coming. A few messages to get through before we're out of here. In the buzz letter department, we were trying to determine, I think Justin Robert Young was the one who asked, like, okay, we went from E to I as our buzz prefix. What's next? Alan suggests V, as in VR. If VR takes off, he says, I think we will have V games, V sports, V tourism, V classes, V diagnosis, V space exploration, and more. It may actually be referring to AR as much as VR, since AR isn't getting the buzz that VR is getting, but people will easily conflate the two. Looking forward to hear what you have to say on the analyst call, by the way, which we are going to have an analyst call coming up next week from this Friday. So keep your eye out on the Patreon for that. But yeah, well, I mean, you are a V.
I am. I'm in. I think this is great. I think that's really clever. I'm going to use that.
I kind of
not
like
give Alan
right.
credit.
Don't you think he's right? Like,
I think he's right.
I could totally see people, because when we got HD makeup, I laughed, right? Because it was like, oh, gotta just call everything HD. And granted, there was a reason for that. It's like, oh, if you're using an HD camera, this is the makeup you need to use. I get that. But there was Blu-ray makeup too. Like, everybody likes to grab a buzzword. And I think V, I could totally see. Yeah, it's V Sports, because we're in virtual.
It sounds good. It works.
And then Tom from something weather, Kansas, he was out of weather, I guess, says, I'm a bit behind, but I have comment about the conversation you and Patrick had about buzzwords. One buzzword that I both think and hope will fade away is Internet of Things. Even before this term, I had many things connected to the internet: desktop, laptop, phone, tablet, gaming console, set-top box. Why is it that we need a new term now that this list might contain light bulbs, doorbells, or the Echo? What sets those devices apart from the things I already had on my network before the new buzzword? Veronica?
I know. I get it. It is a bit of an industry. It's easy to wrap up those things. People are saying, connected home, but that doesn't really encompass everything that's out there. So Internet of Things kind of is a very broad term at this point.
Yeah. And it's hard to use as a descriptor, right? You can say mobile devices. It's really hard. It's really clunky to say Internet of Things.
Well, people say IoT. So
sure.
It's a little easier.
I have a theory. My theory is that we were saying, oh, well, there are desktop devices, and then there are laptop devices, and then there are mobile devices. But now we have these other we have all kinds of things that are connecting. And
I think connected devices is better, personally. I think for referring to those kinds of stuff. I just think like saying like a connected refrigerator or a connected microwave. Like you know what that means. It's just that's a little easier.
V-Connect.
Oh God, so many buzzwords.
I like connectables, actually.
Connectables is fun. Makes me hungry though. Like Lunchables. Yeah. All right. We have another email from John in unsurprisingly sunny Southern California, who says, hey, Tom, the discussion in episode 2776 about the conversational web really got me thinking. I'm a web developer now, but in a previous life, I worked in IVR applications. If you don't know what those are, they're the apps you connect to over the phone when you call customer service, for example, and a robot answers.
Interactive voice response.
Coming from this perspective, the shift to conversation on the web seems pretty natural. The apps I worked on use a standard called Voice XML that could be easily incorporated into a web application in the same way that accessibility concerns are addressed for screen readers and the like. One could imagine services like Alexa becoming a sort of conversational browser with which voice-enabled sites could be accessed. It sure would be an improvement over the Alexa skills model, as having to install a skill to use something as one-off as a spoken command is pretty silly. Come to think about it, maybe this could replace or augment the way we access existing IVR apps. Alexa, pay my mortgage. Just a thought.
I think you just actually paid somebody's mortgage out there by reading that.
That's perfect. Mine, in fact. Thank you.
Well done.
But this is
so many mortgages.
This brings up a point too about how bad Alexa's store is. The skills store is just atrocious. So bad. But anyway, I like that. You mean
the organization of it, not the contents, because it's got some really cool stuff, but it's impossible to page through these days.
No, it's not even categorized. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, yes, it is just natural that we are going this way. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think, I remember reading an article in Scientific American in like 1999 about this one MIT phone number that was testing out voice response, and you could call and you could talk to it and it would understand what you said. And it was like, that's amazing. And these days, every place you call,
If they don't have voice response, you're like, oh, no budget for the better system, huh? Like, haven't updated your system in a while. So yeah, why wouldn't it become conversational interfaces everywhere? That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Veronica Belmont. What you got going on? Tell folks about.
Sword and Laser, swordandlaser.com. 9 years worth of books. Go check it out.
Is it have 9 now?
9 years?
9 suddenly?
I know. We started in 2007. Now it's 9.
We keep going. It'll get larger.
It'll be 10 before we know it.
Right?
It's amazing.
I'm really enjoying Updraft, our current, by the way. It's really fun. And we're going to get Fran Wild on and talk to her. So anyway, if you like science fiction and fantasy books, come join the fun, swordandlaser.com.
Indeed.
Thank you to everybody who supports the show. If you are willing to support us, all we ask is you go to dailytechnewsshow.com/support and pick your way. It could be supporting us on Patreon with an ongoing amount at patreon.com/DTNS. It could be by PayPal just as a one-off. It could be through our store by buying a mug or a t-shirt. It could be all of those. Or if you're like, dude, I ain't got no money. Why are you asking me for money? I'll be like, well, just tell somebody you like the show. Do an iTunes review if you don't like people. There's all kinds of ways to help. dailytechnewsshow.com/support. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can give us a call, 512-59-DAILY. That's 593-2459. Catch the show live Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv. And visit our website at dailytechnewsshow.com. We'll be back tomorrow with Patrick Beja. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
There's what W. Scottus One was saying. The video's stuck on me, but
For the whole show?
oh, weird. Yeah, it's not switching to you when you talk.
That's weird.
But I haven't done anything.
There was a moment where the video for me froze and like dropped out. So I wonder if something happened when that happened. There was some like glitch.
There,
that
I
occurred.
selected Veronica. Now you have to look at her.
But I don't even see it on your page. It's look who needs a haircut. Oh boy, getting a haircut on Thursday. I'm just gonna stare at you all.
Hello, I'm Veronica. I'm Veronica.
Oh my God.
It's your new buzzword.
I am a human buzzword.
That was a good conversation. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. It's like, tips and tricks to keep yourself safe. Keep yourself safe.
Yep. That was almost like a how-to. Not quite.
Yeah. Well, it felt a little Texel-ish, I gotta say.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I was
did.
going to use that word.
Good times. Good time. Good memories.
Good times, great taste.
Oh, I can't sing that. Sorry.
So we have a special report from Philip Shane that's in the treasure chest that he very kindly went and collected at the, I want to get the name of the conference right, at the Kill Screen Audio event. It's 14 minutes long. Should I put it at the end of the audio podcast? Because it's really good. Or should I just leave it in the treasure chest?
I don't know. We're on air. I don't really know how to make
You're
it.
an audio engineer.
14 minutes is not that long in the grand scheme of things.
And yeah, and today's show was what? Today's was 36. So we're actually a little under our normal 40. So we've got some room. All right, I'm going to put
Wiggle
it in
room. Yeah, do it.
Time to get wiggly.
Oh yeah, Showbot. That's right.
Oh yeah. Can
I
you
don't know
look
what
at
happened
titles?
to Bellbot. She just like bounced.
She just
like-
took off.
She just took off. Yeah.
She's like, Mom, tired of this.
Oh, I like do.
Do.
That's funny.
DOH. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
That's funny.
That's nice.
Mark my passwords. That's clever. Or yeah, nobody put it. Well, we had duh. I think
That's good.
that's pretty good too.
Duh. What else is over there? Hates Alexa. It's probably overstating it.
And it's Alexa, not Alexia.
That helps us to avoid. You just kept saying it too, even after I'm like, we need to stop sending it off. You're like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. It's okay. Yeah, I'm a fan of either do 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 or da da da. Da 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 is in the lead now. Do you have a preference?
I don't think I do.
Da da da.
Do. I'm gonna need it though. I'm gonna need to pick one here in a second.
So just pick da da da.
Okay. Da da da.
Duh. I feel bad for Strike It Rich though. He had 2 in the lead, and I picked the one that was not his out of the 3.
That's what happens in a dictatorship.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with da 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 da. I think I'm gonna have to capitalize those D's though.
Do whatever you feel the best about. I will support you
Thank you.
in your decisions.
I appreciate that. Beyond your comprehension. All right. Exporting. Oh, and Howells submitted that. Cool. What else you got planned today?
Just going to the doctor.
Regular old doctor thing.
Yeah, just for the heart, for the GERD.
What is that? What is that word?
GERD is, hold on, what does it stand for?
Oh my GERD?
It
Oh my GERD, you have heartburn?
stands for gastroesophageal reflux disease.
Oh, got it. It's the old reflux.
Yeah. So I get, I make too much, I think it's, my stomach makes too much bile, and then it turns into acid, and it hurts my
I'm
chest.
telling you that for years,
And
Veronica.
it gives me a sore throat, and it gives me a headache.
Too much bile.
There's so much bile in my life. I know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. It really flared up when I got back from Montenegro, and it just hasn't gotten better. And I'm out of the medicine, and the medicine wasn't really helping. So I'm hoping they can give me something better. So we'll see. Fun times.
Well, I'm going to do cord killers.
Good for you.
Good for me. We're going to talk about killing cords with fire.
Fun.
Brian eats fire. And
He
blows
does.
up a cord.
He taught me how to eat fire.
I watched him teach people how to eat fire, but I didn't try it.
Did you? Have you
I was-
seen the one where I ate fire?
Yes, I have.
It's pretty great. I did singe a little bit on my
Did
upper
you?
lip. Yeah,
Oh,
when I
shoot.
did it. Like, it didn't show. It just felt like it tingled for like the rest of the day. Yeah. Just like,
Did you
worth
mention
it.
this to the doctor?
That was so many years ago. Surely it can't be why.
Maybe it's still caught down there. Like
Maybe.
it's just
Yeah.
flaming away.
It's just like a live flame like inside my body.
Well, here's your problem.
Well, you shouldn't have swallowed that fire, idiot.
You've had a fire burning in your stomach for 6 years.
Yeah. I told Brian beforehand, I was like, listen, man, this can't go wrong. You got to protect the moneymaker. Like, I can't go on I can't burn my face off.
Not in the face.
Not in the face. Not in the face, as they say.
That's why I only do fire shakes.
Yes,
Freak
Ralph, I've
about
seen
it.
last night's Game of Thrones. I've seen all the
Did you
games.
see
of
last night's
Thrones.
Giants Cardinals game?
No, I didn't. I didn't, Tom. I listened to it.
Mm.
Yeah, all right. Good for you. Good for you guys. Good for you.
game.
It's good. It's a good team. It's a good team, Tom. I hope to see you once again in the championship.
I do too.
That would be marvelous.
I would like to get some of your Humphreys.
Because I have no ice cream
Humphreys
left. What was the name of
local.
your ice cream again?
Ted Drew's frozen custard.
Yeah, I sure ate a lot of that.
It was good. It's good stuff.
It was good.
If I had money to throw away, I would buy myself some.
Yeah, not that much. Nobody needs that much.
No.
I think I gained 10 pounds after baseball season just by
Just eating
frozen custard.
Also thought it was hilarious that I just bought you a bunch of the Frisco flavor as a joke because Frisco, and then you're like, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Like I don't think I'd ever had it. So
I liked the cherry one a lot too.
oh yeah, that's
The cherry one was good. The chocolate one was good. The Frisco was not my favorite, but it was okay.
Yeah, I'd never had it. I was just like
there's
this
too
is
much
funny.
Too much fruit in it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the joke?
Yeah. Did you just get it?
That's the joke. That's the joke. That's not nice. Anyway,
What?
Calling it Frisco because there's fruit in it. That's not nice.
That's what it was.
Oh my god! I can't believe it took me.
I believe
like
it might
2
have
years.
it might have
2
nuts
years
in it as well.
to get that. It did not have nuts in it. It did not
okay.
have any. It took me 2 years to get that joke. Custard. Anyway, it was delicious. I think Humphrey Slocum's probably still better though. So you better
Humphrey
hope we
Slocum
lose.
Ice cream. Like,
Are we going to do the same gentleman's bet this year?
if they
If it happens. If it
yeah,
happens,
sure.
yeah.
Delicious bet.
The delicious bet. Yeah.
I might make kind of expensive to ship it from. I guess it's just as expensive to ship it.
Yeah, of course, it would be just as expensive to ship it
It's
from
like,
San Francisco.
could I do like Sweet Lucy's down here?
Oh, sure, whatever. Do whatever you want.
But I don't know that actually saves money.
Mm.
I'll just send less. That's all.
There, yeah, you don't need to send. You sent too much. It was too much.
I don't remember why. I don't think it was the minimum order, but I don't think it was more expensive shipping wise to send more or something. I don't.
Yeah, you were like, oh, why not? Might as well have them enough for the next 6 years. And then I was like, I'll show you. I'll eat it all in 3 months.
Haha! I foiled the plan.
I did not make it worth your while, money wise. It did not last.
So there, that'll show you.
Yeah. All right.
I'm almost uploaded.
Cool.
Cut
Cool.
paste in the embeds right now. So yeah, I told the people on Patreon I'm going to put out the headlines show starting in July. I recorded a sample version today.
Oh, neat.
It actually does free up my day a little bit, oddly, to do it that way.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. Instacart. Waffleophagus is like, can you just Instacart it? Like from St. Louis to San Francisco? I don't think you can.
No, I don't think it works that way.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Have a lovely day, and we will see you on the morrow with Patrick Beja, a very sleepy Patrick Beja.
Fare thee well.